Wednesday. I'm Beverly Hosford, and this is Erin. Let me put our names up. Hi, Erin.
Hello, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Here we are with on the NFPT Facebook page, broadcasting live. We're going to talk about how to know if you'd make a good personal trainer today. And if you are a personal trainer, it might be good to kind of revisit some of what makes a great personal trainer and reconnect with it. So hello, and if you are a personal trainer, we're glad to have you. If you want to be a personal trainer, awesome. We're going to talk about that. And if you're someone that has a personal trainer, I would love to know, like, to you, what I got a hair on my face, sorry. What makes a great personal trainer? Like, what are the qualities? How does someone know if they should be a personal trainer? Because sometimes you might know someone and you're like, this person should be a personal trainer. So what's that all about? So that's what we're going to talk about today on our show. And I guess just say hello if you're here. I'm going to just share the show real quick on Twitter and on Facebook. If you know anyone that might want to join us, go ahead and tag them and ask them to come and hang out. We'll be here for like 15, 20 minutes today. So let's just dive in here. So what are some things? How would you know that like you should be a personal trainer? And one of those things is if you're never alone when you're working out, because when you're a personal trainer, you're never alone, really. You're always with someone. And if you find yourself going to exercise and you always want to bring a friend, or you're always inviting 5 people, or you're just that magnet, you're that magnet for people that they want to come with you or they want you to help them out. In addition, if you just don't really like working out alone, I think you would probably make an awesome personal trainer, because personal trainers definitely need to be peoples.
Yeah, you gotta like people. Okay? So if you don't like them, this is not the job for you. I assure you of that. You gotta like people because there's a lot of people involved. I mean, that's just the way it goes.
Yeah, totally. And another thing, if you are really into numbers, like tracking progress, keeping track of, some trainers keep track of calories with clients. Some trainers keep track of how much weight clients are lifting, or cardio, or heart rate. Nowadays, trainers are keeping track of sleep. So, and not that you're trying to change all that with them, but you just might help them track those things. So if you're into numbers, you'd probably really like being a personal trainer, because you can just be immersed in numbers all day long. And I mean, I have to add, the more you know about numbers and the more you like them, the easier it is to manage your finances too.
Truth. Yes. Yeah. It's a numbers game in a lot of ways. So I think if you're naturally drawn to monitoring progress and seeing how that progress scale moves from one end to the other, that's a huge piece of that job. So you got to love it. I don't know that you have to be so in love with it that it's going to make or break your success. But if that's something that you are interested in, definitely going to give you an edge for sure.
Totally, Erin. You don't have to love numbers. You can avoid numbers all day long and still get people healthy and get them in shape. But if you do love numbers, it'll definitely be a fun job. Like, you may not think of it as a numbers job, but it can be a numbers job. You can really tweak the career however you want, which is pretty cool. So
I think along the numbers line, you don't have to be a third level calculus genius. So don't think that it's all math involved. So if you're someone, I have so many friends that are like, oh, I hate math, I could never do that. I'm like, I don't like math either, but it's not necessarily about math. Like, we don't sit here and dink around with equations all day long. Yes, there are several equations involved, but nonetheless, it's not, don't let the numbers piece shy you away from
glad you mentioned that. Another way to know you'd make a great trainer, or, if you are a trainer, is if, another thing to think about is that if you like tweaking your own workout, like if you're always looking for something new, you get bored, then you will resonate with 90% of clients. I will say there are clients out there that they don't like things getting changed on them. I had a few of those. They wanted to do the same routine every single week, and they would let me change like 3 of their exercises, and that's it. But most of my clients always wanted variety and they wanted change. So if you're personally always switching up your workout and changing it, then I think you'd really love being a personal trainer. You'd make a really awesome personal trainer because variety is the spice of training. And although I often preach, going back to the basics, staying like simple and fundamental, there's still a lot of variety to be found within the basics of fitness training.
Oh, definitely. And I think if you have that natural curiosity of, I wonder if I were to move just this one thing, or if I were to replace X with this, how would that then impact that level of fitness or my own level of fitness? So yeah, you have to be interested, I think, in understanding that it's putting together a program is not a black and white deal. There are some black and white principles in personal training for sure, but not when it comes to programming. And so 90%, like you said, of clients are going to want change. They don't want to see plateaus. And that's one thing, that's one way to get around that plateau, is to not get it to the point where the routine is the same for the next 6 months.
Totally.
Work around that plateau. So I think if you're someone that's naturally interested in that and you like that variety, you will be already speaking a language that most of your clientele will already speak.
Yes. Awesome. Good point. And if you find yourself staring at other people when they work out, not in a creepy way, but if you can't help but notice, like, ooh, look at that move someone's doing at the gym, or you're out at the park running and you're like, ooh, those mechanics look kind of weird. Like, or you're like, oh, what are those shoes that guy is wearing? If you just like are totally into like how other people move, what they're doing, then you make a really great trainer, because curiosity is really another great trait to have as a fitness professional. Being curious, wanting to learn more, wondering what are other people doing. I think that makes for a great trait, as I said.
Yeah, and I think along the lines of that particular trait is not only is it about wondering why are their knees caving in, or why are they bowing out, or noticing a certain move or certain mechanics, it makes you more observant. And as a trainer, you have to be able to cue. You have to be able to recognize when someone is not executing a move properly. Sure. And it can be the slightest thing, but you have to be able to recognize that. And so I think if you're already naturally interested in observing how the body moves, and yeah, not in a creepy stalker way, like you said, that's so funny. I'm not a stalker, I'm a trainer. You will, I think, find yourself that much more drawn towards success in that career, because you have that natural or innate ability to observe movements. And that's really what we study is the study of human movement. That's really what it's all about.
I'm so glad you brought up biomechanics. That's all I gotta say.
I love biomechanics.
I love biomechanics. I am one of those people, even when I'm watching a movie, I'm always, oh goodness, what is that person doing with their run? So
hurting my eyes.
Yeah, it's a great trait to have, to be curious about movement and just to be curious in general. And along those lines, if you are always picking up the latest fitness magazine, or like you've always, like, I got to ask you, do you have a fitness magazine sitting in your house right now? Because if you do, you'd make a really awesome personal trainer, because we all have a stack of fitness magazines laying around. I remember when I was young and we'd go on vacation to the Jersey Shore, I would always have like the latest Shape or like Women's Health or whatever, and I would rattle off all the facts to my parents in the car on the way. And it's just like at an early age, I was just so into like, I was like, hey, did you guys know that I remember this one thing, it said if you jump down off of a step, how your feet land says a lot about like your mechanics. And I was all nerded out. I was like, everyone, I need you to like do this, try this activity. Or like, I remember reading that when you dry your hands with a hand dryer, like it I don't remember what it related to, germs, but it related somehow. And I love that stuff. So
yeah, definitely. For me, it was Runner's World. I don't know how many back issues of Runner's World I have, and the research has changed considerably, but nonetheless, you have to have an interest in human movement, and you have to have an interest in not just about the physical part, but how it works, what the science is. If you have a science mind, that's something that is going to serve you well, because you can nerd out all day long. I mean, if I had my way, I would just nerd out all day long, and I would read about my field all day.
Yeah. Me too. Like I was just telling you before the show, I just can't put down this sleep book that I'm reading right now. you might wonder why sleep relates to fitness. We have like 5 episodes on that, so go check those out. But and Irene just jumped in and said, "This screams my personality."
I love it, Irene.
She's already a fitness professional, so she's making a joke, but yeah, that's really cute. So that being said, if you're really positive and upbeat all the time, you would be an awesome personal trainer. You don't have to be like upbeat and like cheerleader to be a trainer. I want to say that because some people actually prefer a more like low tone, like relaxed demeanor. But you do need to be positive because nobody wants a negative Nancy. And I also want to add the caveat: you shouldn't be positive 100% of the time. Maybe 5% of the time you can be real with people, or like let them know that you have bad days too, or that sometimes you forget your healthy lunch and then you got to pick up something, because people do like to see that vulnerability. But in general, if you're like a positive, upbeat, motivational person, then you'll thrive really well in the fitness industry, because that's generally the demeanor.
Definitely. Yeah. You don't have to be like rah rah with your pom poms and, crazy in your face and, anything like that. Not how personal training is depicted in, wildly popular comedic shows or anything like that. But yeah, you have to have an energy about you that draws people towards you, that allows you to connect with them in a way that they need to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. A program and then cueing them and making sure that they're on point with their nutrition and they're on point with their form and things like that. You have to, they're people. They're people. They come with issues. They come with baggage. They come with bad bosses and bad days and crazy children. And that's just the way that it goes. So you have to have that empathetic side and that emotional intelligence to be able to connect. So it isn't just about the positivity, but it's about positively reinforcing what it is your clients are trying to achieve, and then helping them navigate through whatever sticking point or struggle or difficulty they're facing to do so successfully without getting sucked into, you're right, you're never going to make it, that kind of a thing. So you kind of have to, I think about it in the same respect that I think about going to teach a class. As an educator, I have bad days too. Heck yes, I do. We all do. But you can't let whatever's going on internally with you bleed over into your class or your training session, because most people, well, I don't want to say most people, but a number of people will be able to sense that. And it will bleed over and it will affect what you're doing. It's kind of like it's 50% science and then 50% art in terms of, kind of making sure that you're centered and you know what your purpose is, and being emotionally intelligent enough to know that you're not going to like insert your problems onto your client or allow your bad mood to affect what they're paying you to do.
Absolutely. Very well done. So why am I echoing? That's funny. Let me just So I also want to say, if you like staying busy and you like to be on your feet and you enjoy a change of pace every day, then you make a great trainer. Trainers are obviously on their feet all day. You can't be sitting on the bench. It's not a sitting job. You're on your feet, you're busy. And sometimes it can be hard to get your workout in at the end of the day because you've been on your feet all day and you think you worked out, but you didn't. I can attest to that. So I was just talking about that yesterday with another mama about how being a mom even, sometimes you feel like you worked out, but you actually really didn't work out. So you have to have a lot of physical energy to be a trainer. You don't have to be like super strong per se, but you should be strong. And but if you are someone that likes to be on your feet and likes to be busy and have, a lot of change going on, it's a good job for you.
Yeah, I think another point too is that don't get stuck in what the personal trainer should look like. There's not an ideal. Sorry. There's not. Nobody's perfect. Yes, Photoshop can make you look that way. It's pretty cool. But nonetheless, that's not what it's about. It's more about how you can connect with people, motivate them, and you got to know your stuff. You have to know the science. You have to know how to keep people safe and things like that. But it's not about, if you're drawn to this and you in your own mind don't think that you fit this random, whatever ideal there is of the day, ignore it. If it's something that you're passionate about, you will be successful. If you're passionate about it and you pursue it and you learn and you're willing to grow, you'll be successful.
Totally. Yeah. And you can make good money contrary to popular belief.
Yeah, you really can.
April said patience is huge. Changing a lifestyle is huge and hard for clients to do at times. Being patient through the process is so, I'm glad she brought up patience. And then I also wanted to bring up, let's bring up that last point, Erin, that you mentioned before the show about multidimensional.
Yeah, I think as a personal trainer, one of the things that a person needs to be able to do to I think really be successful is be able to think multidimensionally. So you're not just programming for a person to change their fitness, their physical fitness. Yes, the goal that most clients are going to come to you with, or I want to shape this, or I want to do this, or I want to get stronger. That's a huge piece of it, but that's just the physical piece. So what April mentioned was about teaching about lifestyle. And our job transcends beyond the physical dimension, including just the physical fitness and the nutrition. It's emotional, it's social, it's intellectual, it's all of those pieces of wellness that make up a person's experience in life. And so you have to be able to think outside the box in terms of, okay, they're not reaching whatever goal they've set. Ask yourself, okay, what other things are going on? You kind of have to be an investigator and you have to be curious and ask, how are you sleeping? How much water are you drinking? Those types of things, so that it all kind of comes together in this nice puzzle, so that you can train them optimally and not just, hey, it's reps, sets, weights, and cardio and flexibility. It's so not that. And that's what we focus on in terms of what we learn and what we study about the biomechanics of the body, the physiology, biochemistry even. But there's so much more to a person than just their body. Yeah. And there are so many other factors that impact their physical goals. So you have to be able to think in multiple ways and from multiple perspectives and be curious about finding an answer.
Yeah. And so if you resonate with that and you're not a trainer, we need you to become a trainer. We need more people that think about the body holistically and look at the whole picture, because there's a lot of folks out there who are very successful going in and training, and they lose weight easily, they build muscle easily, but there's a whole nother bigger part of our population that has a struggle with staying on top of cardio and strength training, and they really need someone that looks at not just their habits with working out. They need to be looking at their mindset and their sleep and everything, like their thoughts, and to kind of look at all that. And so I welcome you to explore the industry more. If you think that way, please come and hang out with us, because we need more people like that.
We do. And sometimes, over the years, I've started thinking about it in terms of, I'm not just helping someone get healthier physically, and it's not about the body, it's about their relationship with their body. Yeah. You get one. How are you treating it? And when, how are you thinking about it? Even, the power of positive psychology is well documented and well substantiated. Get in the journals and the annals of literature and read it. It's true. I've yet to see anyone refute it. So thinking about training their mind as well is important, and their relationship with their body, because that often is a predictor of success.
Beautiful. Yeah, this career is very expansive, being a trainer. If you're in it, you know it. If you're not, then come and explore it some more. And if anyone has any other thoughts they want to share with us about what makes a great trainer, how you know you should be one, please share them in the comments. And if you liked this episode, put it out there, please. We need to bring more awesome people into the industry.
Yes.
And Erin and I are here every week on NFPT Live. Next week, we're going to be talking about, let me just say this correctly, because it's kind of a twister. The relationship between hip muscle weakness and correlating tightness. That's what we're talking about next week. All about the hips, tightness and weakness. So come and join us, invite some friends, and thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for joining us.